Be me, Melissa, 34, new HR manager at Randall & Associates Engineering. About 60 employees, mostly men of course. We handle commercial construction projects. I specifically work toward HR management for this. Spent 6 years in corporate HR, learning the systems so I could actually make a difference in male-dominated industries. Look, I'm not going to pretend I stumbled into this field. I chose it. Engineering firms are the last bastions of bro culture that need to be dismantled, and someone has to do it. These guys get paid 15 to 20% more than women for the same work, and they act like they earned it. Like their mediocrity deserves a premium just because they're men. I've been here 3 weeks, and I already see it. The way they talk over the 2 female engineers we have. The way they make decisions over beers after work, excluding anyone who doesn't fit their club. The way they get promoted based on culture fit, which really just means acts like us. But here's what they don't know. I have power now. Real power. Every year, I noticed HR would be allowed to give behavior reviews, and this company was no different. Technical skills, sure, but also collaboration, cultural fit, communication style. And those soft categories, those are subjective, those are mine. I've been systematically rating the men lower on collaboration and cultural fit. Not enough to be obvious, just a point or two below what they'd normally get. Harder to dispute than technical skills, and it affects their raise percentages. I call it closing the gap. They call it their God-given right to earn more. We'll see who wins. This morning, Ray the janitor came into my office while I was on a video call with corporate. He's like 60-something, been here forever, didn't knock, just shuffled in to empty my trash. I waved him away, annoyed. I'm clearly in a meeting, and he backed out like a scolded dog. Later, our intern Jessica asked me about career development resources. I stopped what I was doing, spent 20 minutes with her, gave her articles to read, told her about women in leadership programs. That's what mentorship looks like. That's what these men don't understand. You have to actively lift women up because the system sure won't. But back to why I'm here. Why I took this job specifically. There's this guy, Tom Brennan, 43 senior CAD technician and project coordinator. Been at Randall 12 years. He's not management, not VP. Just that guy everyone needs. Apparently he knows some legacy CAD system from like 2010 that all the old client blueprints are in. Has personal relationships with the major clients, coordinates between field supervisors and project managers and the office. Everyone treats him like he's indispensable. Bill, the owner, mentions him constantly. The guys respect him. He's quiet, competent, doesn't play politics. And that's exactly the problem. Tom represents everything wrong with these places. The good old boy who's been here forever, who everyone relies on, who gets to coast on institutional knowledge instead of actual merit. He's the backbone of the old guard I need to break. Which brings me to today. I called a company-wide meeting. Everyone in the conference room, all 60 people crammed in. I'd prepared printed handouts, a whole presentation. Professional, official, unquestionable. I want to talk about bringing Randall & Associates into the modern workplace. I started. We have an opportunity to lead in our industry by implementing inclusive communication standards. I saw a few eye rolls. Expected. Effective immediately, we're implementing an inclusive workplace communication policy focused on pronouns. I handed out the printed sheets. Watch them read. The rules were clear. 1. All employees must add pronouns to email signatures and wear pronoun name badges. 2. Everyone must verbally state pronouns when introducing themselves in meetings. 3. Employees must use others' stated pronouns in all communication. Misgendering results in a written warning. 4. Non-compliance will be documented as diversity demerits on yearly behavior reviews, affecting raises and bonuses. 5. Repeated violations are grounds for termination under hostile workplace environment policies. I framed it as client expectations, industry standards, DEI metrics. Made it sound inevitable. Made it sound like we're behind. Most of the guys exchanged looks, but nodded. A few looked annoyed, but said nothing. Jake, one of the junior engineers, almost laughed, but caught himself. I made a mental note of that. This isn't optional, I said clearly. This is company policy. Questions? Silence. Great. I expect full compliance by end of week. Badges will be distributed today. Email signatures should be updated immediately. Meeting adjourned. I felt good. First major policy initiative, clear implementation, strong leadership. By the next day, most guys had complied. He, him on email signatures, badges on their shirts. Not enthusiastic, but compliant. That's all I needed, except Tom. I checked his email signature. Nothing. No badge at his desk. Just working like nothing changed. I sent him a polite reminder email. No response. That's when I knew he was going to be a problem, and I was going to have to make an example of him. Week after policy launch, I started enforcement. I sent individual emails to anyone still missing pronouns. Most guys updated within 24 hours. Tom didn't even respond, just ignored it completely. Fine. If he wants to play this game, we'll escalate. Weekly project status meeting, Wednesday afternoon, 12 people in the conference room. I started attending these to observe cultural fit, really, to make sure guys aren't sliding back into old behaviors. Tom presented his project update. Some client thing, blueprints, timelines. I wasn't really listening. I was watching his badge area, still blank. I interrupted mid-presentation. Tom, I notice you still haven't added your pronouns to your email signature. This is company policy now. He looked at me, totally calm. I use people's names. That's not in compliance. You received the written policy. I did. I read it. Then he just went back to his presentation, like I hadn't said anything, like I wasn't his superior. The room went silent. A few guys stared at their laptops. No one backed me up. No one said anything. I felt my face get hot, but I stayed professional. We'll discuss this after. I sent Tom a formal written warning via email that afternoon. CC'd Bill, the owner. Stated clearly, policy violation, official warning, future violations will impact his review and continued employment. He replied in 2 minutes. Understood. That's it. Not, I'll comply or I apologize. Just, understood. Like he was humoring me. I scheduled mandatory inclusive communication training for Friday afternoon. 2 hours, everyone had to attend. Brought in an external consultant virtually, paid her $300. She talked about pronouns, gender identity, workplace inclusion. Most guys looked bored. Tom attended, took notes, asked 0 questions. At the end, I asked everyone to verbally commit to the policy. Everyone said yes. Tom said, I heard everything you said. Not a commitment, just acknowledgement. I pulled Linda aside after the meeting. She's the office manager, been here 15 years. She'd added she, her to her email, but I could tell she thought this was all ridiculous. Tom's being resistant, I said. Stuck in the past. Men like him are why women can't advance in these industries. Linda looked at me for a long moment. Why are you so focused on Tom specifically? Because he refuses to comply with basic workplace policy. He uses everyone's names, always has. He's respectful. That's not the point. This is about setting standards. Melissa. Linda's voice was gentle but firm. Why are you really doing this? The pronoun thing? I bristled. Because women have too little power in places like this. These men need to understand they don't get to make all the rules anymore. They need to comply, adapt, show they respect our initiatives. Our initiatives, or your initiatives? What's that supposed to mean? Linda sighed. Tom's trained 3 female engineers since I've been here. He's never talked over anyone in a meeting. He doesn't go to the after-work beers either. He goes home to his kids. You're treating him like he's the enemy when he's just Tom? That's basic job duty, not actual allyship, I said coldly. Linda shook her head slowly. You're going to regret this. I'll take that under advisement, I said, and walked away. But it bothered me, like she was defending him over me. Another woman. Friday after the training, I was in my office catching up on emails when I heard voices from the break room, guys at lunch. I couldn't help listening. This whole pronoun thing is insane, someone said. Just comply, dude. Not worth fighting HR. Then Jake's voice. Wait, she said we must use people's stated pronouns, right? Like it's mandatory. Yeah, Rule 3. Written warning if you don't. Pause. Then Jake again. What if we just change our pronouns? Silence. Then laughter. She'd have to use them. It's her own rule. Dude, she'd lose her mind. But she can't say no, right? That would mean the whole policy is BS. More laughter. Someone said, Tom doesn't even have to do anything. We can do this. I sat at my desk, blood pressure rising. Were they seriously going to mock this? Turn my policy into a joke? I told myself it was just talk. They wouldn't actually do it. Monday morning, Jake's email signature now said she, her. Badge 2. By afternoon, 3 other guys had done the same. Marcus with they, them. Dwight with she, her. Another junior guy with ZRC. I stared at my screen. Were they serious? At first, I thought maybe this was genuine. Maybe Jake was actually exploring his identity, and my policy made him feel safe. That's what it's for, right? Afternoon meeting. Jake introduced himself. Hi everyone, Jake Martinez, Structural Engineering. My pronouns are she, her. He was trying not to smile, but technically, he was complying. I wrote it down, told myself this was good, policy working. Then Tuesday, I sent a group email about safety inspection scheduling. Typed naturally. Jake said he would handle the inspection coordination. Hit send. 10 minutes later, Jake replied, all. Hi Melissa, just a reminder that my pronouns are she, they, her. I believe you misgendered me in this email. Per company policy section 3, I'm filing this as a formal complaint. Thanks for your understanding. He CC'd the general HR inbox, Bill, and all the department heads. My hands shook reading it. Then Marcus filed one. Melissa referred to me as he in yesterday's meeting, but my pronouns are they, them. Formal complaint attached. Then Dwight. Melissa's email signature only lists she, her. Does this exclude non-binary identities? Requesting clarification on company policy. Within 2 days, I had 8 formal complaints, all meticulously documented per my own system, all completely weaponizing my own rules. I called Jake into my office, Wednesday afternoon. Are you mocking this policy? I asked directly. He looked at me, totally straight-faced. No, I'm participating. Isn't that what you wanted? Your policy makes me feel safe, exploring my gender identity. Jake? Are you saying I'm not allowed to use she, her pronouns? Because that sounds like discrimination. I couldn't say it was fake. I couldn't say he was lying. Because that would mean admitting the whole thing was performative theater that anyone could exploit. He knew it. I knew it. And I couldn't do anything about it. I dismissed him. By Friday, half the guys had changed their pronouns. They were filing complaints against each other, against me, against Linda when she slipped up. The whole office was drowning in pronoun violation paperwork. And through it all, Tom did nothing. No badge, no pronouns, no games. Just worked. Answered phones, handled clients, processed files. When guys joked about the situation near his desk, he'd smile slightly, but never participated, never engaged. That drove me crazy more than anything. He was the one I wanted to break, the symbolic figurehead of everything wrong here. And he was completely untouchable because he wasn't fighting back. He was just existing, working, being professional, while I was drowning in fake complaints and malicious compliance. Friday afternoon, I sat in my office. Stack of pronoun violation complaints on my desk, all filed by men against me. I could hear them in the bullpen, laughing about something. I heard Tom's voice in the hallway, calm and patient, explaining something to a client on the phone, completely above this chaos, completely unbothered, and I realized he didn't have to fight me. His non-compliance gave them permission. His quiet refusal was more powerful than any protest. They were following his lead without him saying a word. I had to make an example, had to show them I still had power here. Monday morning, company-wide meeting about Q4 project pipeline. I attended, clipboard ready, watching, documenting. Tom presented the Westfield Properties update. Their biggest client apparently, some $2 million project. He went through timeline, specs, coordination needs. Professional as always. Around the room, 3 guys wearing their she, her badges. One guy corrected someone's pronoun usage mid-sentence as a joke. People smirked. My face burned. Tom finished his presentation. I saw my opportunity. Tom, this would be a good time for you to introduce yourself with your pronouns. You know, like everyone else. He looked at me. Everyone here knows who I am. It's company policy. I use people's names, Melissa, same as I have for 12 years. Jake couldn't resist. Actually, Melissa, you just used who to refer to Tom. That's a gendered assumption. Should be whom, or better yet, avoid pronouns entirely. A few guys snickered. Someone coughed to cover a laugh. I was done. The second the meeting ended, I sent Tom an email. Come to my office immediately. He walked in 2 minutes later. Calm, waiting. I'm terminating your employment effective immediately. His expression didn't change. For what? Insubordination, failure to comply with company policy, and creating a hostile work environment by emboldening others to mock our diversity initiatives. You're firing me over pronouns. I'm firing you for repeated policy violations after multiple warnings and for undermining workplace culture. You've made it clear you don't align with our values. Our values, he said quietly. Or your values? I stood up. Clean out your desk. You have 1 hour. Linda will supervise. He didn't argue, didn't yell, just nodded and left. I sat back down, hands shaking but triumphant. I'd done it. I'd shown them, you don't get to disrespect my authority and stay here. From my office window, I watched Tom pack his desk. Guys gathered around him. I could see them talking, looking upset. Jake gestured at my office. Marcus shook his head like he couldn't believe it. Tom stayed calm through all of it. Packed his stuff in boxes. Guys helped him carry them to his car. He left, just drove away. I'd won. Tuesday morning, I got to work early. Felt good. Policy defended, authority established. The guys would fall in line now. Around 10, I heard raised voices in the bullpen. A field supervisor on speakerphone. What do you mean Tom's not there? I need the foundation specs on Monroe Street. He always handles this. One of the junior engineers. Tom's not with the company anymore. What? I need revision blueprints from 2018. They're in the old CAD system. I'll figure it out. I told myself that wasn't my problem. They'd figure it out. Tom wasn't irreplaceable. Tuesday afternoon, phone call transferred to me. Woman's voice, irritated. This is Sarah from Westfield Properties. Is Tom available? Tom is no longer with the company, I said professionally. Since when? As of yesterday, we're transitioning his accounts. Tom's managed our projects for 6 years. He knows our entire system. Who's taking over? We're assigning someone this week. I want Tom. Have your manager call me. She hung up. I felt the first flutter of unease, but I pushed it down. Client relationships transfer. People adapt. Wednesday morning, Dwight, one of the project managers, practically ran into the office. We have a problem. Client needs blueprint modifications from a 2012 project. Everything's in that old AutoCAD format Tom used. None of us can open the files correctly. Figure it out, I said. There are tutorials online. The deadline is Friday. Then you'd better work fast. He left, looking stressed. Not my problem. They relied on Tom too much anyway. This would force them to build better systems. Wednesday afternoon, Linda stopped by my office. Melissa, we've had 6 calls asking for Tom today, including Patterson Commercial. They're threatening to call Bill directly. Bill's at a client site, right? He'll be back Thursday. Then we'll handle it Thursday. But I felt it now. The unease growing, the sense that maybe I'd miscalculated something. Wednesday evening, I was leaving late, passed by the conference room, heard voices. Marcus. We need to tell Bill what actually happened. Jake. He's going to lose his mind? Dwight. Tom wasn't just some guy. He was the entire central nervous system of this place. I kept walking. Told myself they were exaggerating, being dramatic. But driving home, I couldn't shake it. What if I'd made a mistake? No. I'd done the right thing. Tom was insubordinate. The policy was legitimate. I had authority here. I'd done the right thing. Thursday morning, I got in at 8:30. Bill's truck was already in the parking lot. My stomach dropped. I'd barely sat down when Linda appeared at my door. Bill wants to see you? Conference room. Now. I walked in. Bill was there with Dwight, Marcus, and 2 other project managers. All of them looked grim. Sit down, Melissa, Bill said. His voice was flat. I sat. Tell me why Tom Brennan isn't working here anymore. I kept my voice steady. I terminated his employment Monday for insubordination and policy violations. Policy violations, Bill repeated. Yes, the pronoun policy. He repeatedly refused to comply despite multiple warnings. Stop. Bill held up his hand. Dwight, explain what's happening. Dwight pulled out notes. Westfield Properties, our biggest client, $2.3 million annually. Their project manager, Sarah, has called 6 times demanding Tom specifically. She won't work with anyone else. She's threatening to review their contract. My throat tightened. 4 active projects need access to the legacy CAD system. Only Tom knows that system. Monroe Street project is completely stalled. Patterson Commercial called this morning implying they might pull future work. Field coordination is breaking down because Tom was the communication hub between office and field teams. Bill looked at me. Estimated impact? 2 projects behind schedule, potential client losses in the millions. Silence. Bill's jaw tightened. You fired our most critical employee over pronouns? It wasn't just pronouns. Then what was it? He was insubordinate. He created a hostile work environment. He was emboldening others to mock our diversity initiatives. Mock them how? Bill asked. I hesitated. Couldn't exactly explain the malicious compliance without sounding ridiculous. Jake spoke up. We started using different pronouns. She, her, they, them. Filing complaints when people used the wrong ones. We were making a point. Bill looked at him. Making what point? That the policy was kind of ridiculous, sir. Bill turned back to me. So the men were complying with your policy? Using pronouns? They were mocking it, but technically complying. I didn't answer. Bill rubbed his temples. And Tom? What was Tom doing? Nothing, I admitted. He just wouldn't add pronouns to his email or badge. Did he misgender anyone? Harass anyone? No, but did he create any actual problems beyond not following your pronoun policy? His non-compliance was emboldening. I'm asking you directly, did Tom Brennan do anything other than refuse to put pronouns in his email signature? Silence. No, I finally said. Bill stood up. Everyone out except Melissa. The room cleared. Door closed. Bill sat back down across from me. Westfield Properties is threatening to pull their contract. We can't meet deadlines without Tom's knowledge of the legacy system. We're about to lose millions of dollars. And you're telling me you fired him because he wouldn't wear a pronoun badge? It's about accountability. Stop. Just stop. His voice was harder than I'd ever heard. I don't care about your policy, I care about this company surviving. Do you understand we're in crisis because of your decision? If we don't enforce policies, they're meaningless. And if we lose Westfield, we lose 20% of our annual revenue. What's more important, Melissa? Pronoun badges or keeping this company solvent? This isn't about badges, I heard my voice rising. It's about creating an inclusive workplace where everyone... I need you to stop talking. Right now. I stopped. Bill pulled out his phone. I'm calling Tom. I'm offering him his job back with a raise and an apology. You're going to stay out of it. That completely undermines my authority. Bill looked at me. Really looked at me. What authority? You just nearly destroyed this company over a gender ideology experiment. He called Tom right there. Put it on speaker. Tom, it's Bill. I need to apologize. Melissa fired you without my knowledge or approval. I just found out about the crisis this has created. I'm offering you your job back, 15% raise, and guaranteed autonomy from HR oversight. I need you back. Tom's voice, calm. I need that in writing. And I want the project bonus structure I should have had years ago. Done. Can you start tomorrow? I'll be there. Bill hung up, looked at me. Your pronoun policy is suspended effective immediately. You're on formal notice. One more decision like this and you're gone. Understood? I couldn't speak. Understood, he repeated. Yes, I whispered. Get out. I left, walked past Linda, who didn't look up, past the bullpen where guys were pretending to work, but I knew they'd heard everything. I went to my office and closed the door. Everything I'd built, everything I'd worked for. Gone. Friday morning. Tom walked back in with his coffee. I heard it from my office, the guys applauding, half joking, half serious. There he is, Tom's voice dry. All right, back to work. Within 2 hours, he was on the phone with Westfield resolving the Phase 2 issue. By end of day, Monroe Street back on track, Patterson Commercial handled, 3 other projects moving again, like nothing had happened, except everyone now knew what Tom was worth, and what I wasn't. Bill called me in Monday morning, company attorney on speakerphone. Melissa, you're being transferred to our Bakersfield satellite office effective 2 weeks from today. My stomach dropped. That's a demotion. That office has 6 people. Same title, same pay, different responsibilities. The attorney cut in, this is based on operational needs and judgment concerns. Accept the transfer or we discuss separation. I was trapped. Accepted Tuesday. Thursday, packing my office. Had to walk through the bullpen with boxes. Jake still wearing his she/her badge mockingly. Saw me, grinned, waved. Tom at his desk on a client call. Didn't even look up. Linda brought final paperwork. I tried connecting. I was trying to make things better for women here. She looked at me, neutral. You made things worse for everyone. Tom's one of the good ones. You should have left him alone. Bill sent company-wide memo that afternoon. Pronoun policy suspended indefinitely. Employees may voluntarily include pronouns. Didn't mention me, didn't need to. By end of day, guys had removed badges and signatures. Back to normal, like it never existed. Now I'm in Bakersfield. Small office, 6 people, 2 of them women. Benefits paperwork and compliance reports. No policy authority, no power to change anything. But I'm not done. They think they won. Tom, Jake, all of them. They ganged up on me, weaponized my own policy, humiliated me, made me look incompetent in front of Bill. I'm documenting everything, every conversation, every decision Bill made, the way he sided with them over me, how they systematically undermined a legitimate diversity initiative. There are labor lawyers who specialize in this. Discrimination cases, retaliation, hostile work environment, against me this time. I'll rebuild. Transfer to a company that actually values inclusion. Maybe file complaints with the EEOC about how Randall and Associates handles gender equity. They wanted me gone. They got what they wanted. But men like Tom don't get to win forever. The world is changing whether they like it or not. I just need to be smarter next time.